morning and welcome to week 6 of our Christmas tree stitch along. I'm Sue Spargo, and this week we'll be covering Snowflake number 2 and the Gingerbread Man. So let's get started. So the first one we're going to do is the little snowflake. So this is a little snowflake here. And again, we're going to use the Spoke Easy tools, and we're going to use Spoke Easy number 6. So we'll mark the 6, which I'll do on paper in a minute, and then we'll rotate it and we'll do a secondary mark. And this is done mainly in the eleganza and the dazzle. So it's quite simple, but I like the fact that all the snowflakes are a little bit different. And then we'll end off with a chain stitch around the outer edge. Okay, so we're working with the 6 Spoke Easy, and the first thing we're going to do is mark the center dot, and then you're going to mark the 1.5 inch marks, which is the longest ones here. Then we will rotate it so that the spokes are now in the center of our original marks. And you've got a 3/8 inch circle here, so you're going to go 1/4 inch beyond that. So probably at about 1 1/4 mark, and you'll mark that like this. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do when I look at that is a closed fly stitch. So the closed fly stitch will be coming down on the longer spokes like this. So you'll see each one like this. You'll do a little closed fly stitch for the snowflake, and that'll make the 6 of them like this. And then on the others, we're going to do a pistol stitch. So when you do the pistol stitch, you have to start on the inside here. So you're going to bring your thread up in the center, and then you're going to wrap, and your knot will end up here with a tail on it. So we'll do a pistol stitch like that, right like that. So we'll have 6 pistol stitches. So that's the start of the base of it, and then we're going to add a little chain stitch in the top of these fly stitches like this. So this is the detached chain. So we'll do that up there. And also a chain stitch around the knot of the pistol stitch, just like that. So that's pretty simple. And you can also do a back stitch around the edge of your wool's 3/8 inch circle in the center, and then we'll do a chain stitch around the outside. So what I love about these Spoke Easy, each time I do them, something different happens. So they work out really well for little snowflakes. So that'll be the little snowflake. The next one will be the little Gingerbread Man. So here he is, and we have a little whipped chain around the outside. So I'll demo that in a minute for those that haven't done it, because it's not in the book, but it's just like doing a chain stitch and then whipping it like you would whip a back stitch. And we've got rosette chain. So rosette chain is for the little white icing here and around the outside, and the rest are French knots and couching. And then you're going to do 2 little picots. So when you do these picots, I'll also demo how you're going to set up your needle. And then we will fill in the background with a little bit of seed stitch. All right, so let's start with the rosette chain, because I have a little trick that I teach my students on how to keep that really nice along the edge. So let me just thread up. So I'm just using a size 8 pearl cotton, which you'll be doing, and my little chenille needle. And so rosette chain, you're working from left to right, and then I'll show you my little trick. So if you're doing it for the icing, you're going to just do it on top of the little gingerbread man, but for the circle, you're going to do it around the outside. So you're going to come up like this, and you will go over just a little bit and then come out just a little bit. So the length you come out is going to determine the length of your rosettes. And then we're going to do a counterclockwise wrap and pull it through. So I always hold it, pull it through, and pull it up. And then with the back of your needle, you're going to come underneath this little left-hand tail at the base, and that will sort of lock it in like that as a little rosette. Come up, go out the same distance. So this is what you want to try and keep uniform as the previous one. You're going to wrap again, hold it, pull it through. Don't bring this thread forward because it'll collapse. And now, from now on, you're going to go underneath the thread between the rosettes. So a little trick is when you come over and set up your needle for the next one, if you wrap too tightly like this, this will not sit against the edge of your circle. So what I normally do is I hold it straight across the edge of my applique, use my nail, and then I just wrap like that, and then you'll have enough tension on that to keep it nicely against the edge, because our goal is to add stitches that become part of the applique, not sitting away from the edge. So we are doing this in the background, not on the circle. So this is right along the edge. So here's a little trick. When you've gone all the way around, sometimes it wants to shift a little away from the edge. So I'm going to come up on the base of that little link stitch, and I'm going to couch them like this right against the edge of my applique, and that will make it attach really nicely to the edge of your applique without separating. So that's a really nice little trick, especially if your tension is not quite right, if it's a little loose or a little tight. That will help it sit really nicely. And you can see here how this sits right against the edge, not on the applique, and there's no space there. The other little ones right here, I did not couch them because they were sitting really nicely on top. But if you want to, you can also couch the little edge over there. The other stitch is the whipped chain stitch. So sometimes I'll do a chain and maybe I want just a slightly different edge. So I'm doing a chain, just a regular chain stitch like this. And maybe I want it to have a little bit more body than just a chain. And I'll come back and whip it. So again, it just makes more of a corded stitch than just the chain. So what you're going to do is I'm on the left, I'm coming from right to left through the chains like that to whip it. So just through the chain, and then you can see how that makes it more corded then and closes it up, then opens. So that's a nice little stitch. I did that around the Gingerbread Man, and the other thing is that it sort of was snug against the edge because these little images are quite small. So that's pretty easy but straightforward for you guys. The next thing I was just going to talk about was the woven picots. So we've done quite a few woven picots already, but you'll notice that these woven picots are, to make his little bow tie, are like this. Okay, so that means that you're setting them up like this. So you're putting your needle in and you're setting it up this way, like this, and then you're going to weave back down to here, turn it around, and then set up the next one like that, and then weave down this way. And then what I did was just tacked the tips of these so that they were nice, and kept it down in the center like that. So not very large picots, you can see just little picots to make a little bow tie right there. Well, I hope you're enjoying stitching along with me, and that you are keeping up so that you'll have a pillow by Christmas. So thank you and have a good week, and please like and subscribe.